It's Wednesday. Again. I was saying earlier in my hilarity group, like, it's Wednesday, it's the weekend, it's Wednesday, it's the weekend, it's Wednesday, it's the weekend. It's kind of crazy how the days of the week seem to move along, but I have them pretty chock full of stuff. So today, of course, when I woke up and I completed my rituals and done my meditation, read my cards, drank my hot water and lemon, set myself up to have a really great day, looked at my calendar. What do you mean I don't have a Zoom meeting today? Well, what do you mean I don't have anything till later? I'm used to having something right now. So when I have something right now, then I have a purpose. And right now I'm feeling purposeless. And it's, it's an uncomfortable feeling because I've had everything so regimented and everything so scheduled that there hasn't been a lot of wiggle room. And so being given that wiggle room all of a sudden, I'm in that sort of, oh my God, what am I going to do with my time? And as I walk past the cupboard that is literally bulging out the door because it has so many bags full of stuff that I have shoved in there conveniently when I cleaned off the dresser the last time. So the dresser appears to be clean, but the truth about it is that I have it tucked away somewhere, some bag somewhere, where I have old insurance papers and old writings and old feedback things from Toastmasters and old certificates and old paperwork, old journals, etc., etc., etc. But unfortunately, they're not completely organized because that is not my strong point. My strong point is to have it organized for now and then later do something else. So it's been more of a habit, excuse me. It seems to me, by going over some of the things that I found in my closet today and all of these bags of bags of bags, and as I condensed down and condensed down and condensed down, and as I read through, some of the things that I've written myself, some of the things that have been written to me, some of the things that, I go back and I look at this goal from 2012, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm literally in the same place. It was a 30, 60, 90 day goal. And so I'm sort of in that same place, and I'm like, what the? Like, how is it that I could possibly be here again? What seems like here. And as I read things through the day, and as I allowed to, the process to happen and the wheels to turn and the sticky stuff to come unstuck, and the stuff that I was actually purging, because there was stuff that needed to be shredded because it was confidential, but not something I needed anymore. There were things that I wanted to keep, treasured, so that went into a specific pile. There were books that I have been meaning to read. Do any of you have books that you've been meaning to read? I have literal stacks of them. Lost Intentions. Like, have such good intentions. That looks like a good book. It comes highly recommended. I think that I'm going to start that book, which is usually where my story ends. Because I start something, and for some reason, I come up against my stuff. It becomes, overwhelming. It asks me to do a task. I'm like, whoa, hang on a second. I never signed up for a workbook. I thought this was just a book. And the truth is, I really like self-help books. So what else would I expect from a self-help book except for the intention of me to take action in my life? And I started to feel really bad because I'm like, well, great. I have the same goals as I did in 2012. Lovely. How great is that? This is 8 years later. Like, where have I gotten? What am I doing? Why am I looking at the same stuff over and over and over again around health, around wealth, around relationships? Like, why am I still in this place that feels stuck? And then I started to sort of grapple with the fact that, 2012, okay, so what was I doing then? Where was I? Okay, here, that's where I was. That's where I was living. These are the things that I was interacting with. That was the job that I was talking about earlier, and the business that I got into where, in my opinion, some of the unintegral business practices caused me great loss, and monetarily. And at the time, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't know how to say, you may not treat me like this. It is absolutely unacceptable to treat me like this, but it's the story that keeps playing over and over and over again that continually, the common denominator in there is somehow I feel less than, and that my worth is not enough to actually ask for what I need and ask for what I want and deserve and feel deserving of those things. It's usually around pay. I've done most of the work that I've ever done in my life for free as a volunteer. I love being in service. I love it. It has been in my favorite thing, being in service to my children has been my favorite career. And now that they're grown, I want to reallocate some of those talents and some of those discoveries and some of those skills to help other people. And so, today I gained clarity that even though I have the same goal, that I'm looking at it from a different point of view, that I'm looking at it from a different layer. It really is true, the peeling of the onions, the layers, whatever you want to call them. I consider it rice paper, like it's super thin. I can't quite see through it, but I know there's something else there. And even though it's the same thing that I'm revisiting over and over and over again, instead of getting myself into that place of, well, way to go, Tanya. I knew you were a loser. I knew, 8 years and you've done nothing. Way to go. Way to go. You're still in the same spot. But instead of going to that place, that really negative place, today I was able to go, hey, Tanya, wow, you've done layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of work that has now gotten you to this place where you're ready and willing maybe to take deeper dives into truth, where you're ready and willing to actually make a lifestyle change instead of just making this sort of, this change for the time being, because I can do anything for 90 days. I've done all kinds of things for a long period of time and stayed consistent and loyal to them. And at some point in time, I fall off that place and I stop doing those things. And I wonder to myself, well, why? And today I kept asking myself, well, what about this time is going to be different? And the truth is, I don't know, because I'm not a future teller. I don't know. Ultimately, it's up to me. It's my journey. It's my responsibility. It's my opportunities. And depending on how I frame those things, depending on how I take a look at those things and what I allow to become my truth in that. And so for a long time, I wasn't able to stand up for myself. I didn't use my voice and stand up for myself and say, no, I will not be treated like that. But I can now. I can say that I will never tolerate that kind of behavior towards me again. Betrayal is off the table. I'm not available for those stories because I've evolved to another level, for lack of a better term. I like to consider it a video game because that just makes life more fun. Level up, will ya? Level up. And we're always at choice, which is so terrific. So today, my go-to was, oh, you know what? It's been a long time since I just relaxed. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just chill out and vibe out and watch some TV. And even though it would have been okay if I did, I knew somewhere inside of me that something else was calling for me. And being willing to say, tune in. Okay. The truth is I've been avoiding doing this, but I can't even open my bedroom door. So every time that I walk past that, similar to the car that I just removed from my driveway, it takes up mental space. It takes up mental space, physical space, spiritual space. It takes up space. And it gets me into that negative headspace of, well, way to go. Again, you failed again. Nice one. See? I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you couldn't follow through. I knew that you couldn't stay consistent. I knew it. It's an interesting dance with this thing called ego, right? Because the ego is a massive part of who we are, an important part of who we are, but not the be-all and end all. When we're in ego, we're in that mode of, come on, bring on life. And at this point in time, I'm taking a back seat to that and going, isn't that interesting about me? Instead of saying, oh, I can't believe that I'm in the same stupid place. How dare I be in the same place? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? To, isn't that interesting? I have so many similar goals to what I've always had. I wonder what it's going to take. I wonder why that's happening. I wonder what's going on underneath that. And start to unpack some of that stuff. But I couldn't get to that stuff. I couldn't get to that unpacking without unpacking all the stuff before it. And an willingness to continually say, okay, so, you know what? Obviously this thing isn't over. This thing called life, because I'm here. I'm breathing air. And tonight I got to be a part of being in service to people that are using comedy as therapy in our Hilarity group. Stay tuned, because there's going to be a live broadcast where we, all of our little pieces and parts, are going to come together on a Zoom call being recorded and broadcast live. And we're going to share comedy, because I think it's such an important piece to the reason why I think I'm sane at this point in time, alive. You know, I know it sounds cliche, but honestly, it's the work that I've done through learning how to laugh again. Because there were so many moments when I was like, not going to happen. Life's too bleak. I've been some dark and deep, dark places, and I wish not to go back to them. So at this point in time, it's my responsibility to say, okay, so what can I do? What will I do? So over the last 3 weeks, my comedy class has been doing work every day, committing to that. Have I? No, I've been slimy because I never committed to anybody. I never said the words. So tonight, making sure that I follow through with, I know this in the back of my mind. I can get away with it because nobody asks me, because I'm the one facilitating the whole thing. But does it feel right or aligned with what it is that I'm expecting everyone else to do? No. So it's my responsibility to level up at that point in time, level up my leadership and say, okay, so if this is what I want from everyone else and I want them to fully participate, then what happens with me happens with them. What happens at the back of the room happens at the front of the room. I want to be an example. And so as imperfect as I am, I'm going to continue to show up, dig deep, walk my path, create insights for myself, and then come here and share them with you. And so having a purpose every day, having something that draws me out of some of those dark places, because it's easy to go there, particularly right now. Things are so topsy-turvy. There's so much information. We're going to open, we're not going to open. These things are going to be available, not those things. It's going to be kind of crazy for a little while, you know? And on a daily basis, I just want to know that I laughed a little, that I've released some sort of energy that I've been holding on to. So whether that's crying or laughing or what have you, I don't care how I get it processed, but to always be in that process of, isn't that interesting? I wonder where that came from. Let me uncover that. Let me unpack that a little. Let me give it some grace and compassion. We, our human beings, are the walking wounded. And we're out there wound bonding or wound poking, right? You know? And the truth is, our gifts somehow spring from that place, that wounded place. And we all have something massive to contribute that is just unique to each of us. And I've heard a million people say that, but until I start to own that in my own right, until I start to actually stand firm in that place of knowingness that I am worthy, so are you. That I am enough, so are you. That I can be, do, and have anything that I design, so can you. It's magic. So amazing to get to that place and allow myself the grace. So today I cleaned and purged a whole bunch of space so that I'm now ready for something more to come in. Because I keep thinking, well, last week I had a really big high. I was up here and I really liked it. And I really liked being up here. It felt really good. And I don't like so much being down here. This doesn't feel very good. It's irritating. I'm agitated. Things aren't going very well. I'm having car accidents. You know, shit gets real down here. But the truth is, you know, without the sort of crunchy stuff, without the stuff to bump up against, without the stuff that makes you go, I wonder if I need to be curious about that. There's a place of discovery and opportunity in everything. I'm dedicated to lifelong learning. I'm dedicated to lifelong transformation. And so even though it looks the same on paper as 2012, it feels a whole lot different in 2020. And so I'm going to go with that because it is what feels more true to me. Because if you were to put them side by side, someone could judge it, including myself, of, oh, same shit, different day. When's that going to change? But those harsh, negative, condescending, judgmental places breeds more of the same. And so I am choosing to use my energy towards positive, uplifting, encouraging, compassionate, graceful excitement, and walking through the trepidation and walking up and bumping up against it and just remaining curious. I'm 47 years old. This did not happen overnight. The trauma, the chaos, the drama, the stuff did not get here and get on me overnight. And so today is hump day. And today I'm going to celebrate that I had a great day because I made it so. Because I tuned in to the things that are really bring me so much passion and joy. And that I get to be in service. It's amazing. My greatest hope is that you're doing something to be in service to yourself. Much love out there. See you tomorrow.